Hi, Fatima.
Hi, Tilak.
I think these are very difficult times the world is going through, and VUCA, as we were using this word even before COVID, has become really evident. Um, Families, individuals, and now the organizations, they all are disturbed, and there is a dire need for the organizations to maintain some kind of a peace of mind for themselves and for their people who work, so that their work output does not get affected, the economy does not get disturbed. And I think that is the concern every organization must be having today. That's where we are here to address that issue.
Absolutely. I think mental wellness is a lot more understood now, keeping the uncertainty in mind and the anxiety that we're all going through and the loss and the grief that people are facing. I think it's a lot more significant for us to explore this area and how best it is to actually look at enhancing your mental wellness through processes that are tested and tried and something that we live by, like mindfulness and happiness habits.
You know,
And yes,
the mind is like a monkey
absolutely.
and moves around in difficult period even much more, gets
Yes,
anxiety prone,
yes.
and we need to tame the mind.
Right, right. Yes, there is a research that says that a scattered mind and a cluttered mind is a very unhappy one. So, if we want to increase our focus and be happy, then we need to know what we need to do with that monkey which is sitting up there because its nature is to move, its nature is to struggle, and especially with threats around.
Yes.
So yeah, so I love that, and I think the program that we're proposing right now, which has both the processes of mindfulness and happiness, and so beautifully we've integrated it. I love that idea of emotional baseline, that baseline where we already have that happiness and we can connect with that happiness. I love that because I think that's fantastic. That's
You
so
know,
important.
all of us operate from a particular baseline of emotion,
Mm.
but very few people understand that the happiness as the baseline emotion can be the most productive and the most efficient one.
Hmm.
And in this kind of timings, that baseline gets disturbed, um, and the processes of mindfulness can help them to bring back to the baseline,
Right.
provided that baseline is made up of happiness.
True, true. And I think where mindfulness and how mindfulness actually supports this program is that it helps a person makes that shift. We're not hooked and we're not attached to that thought. And when we're attached to that thought, we don't know how to come out of it. Like, what do I do to get out of my head? And it won't listen to you because that's what the monkey does. It doesn't listen to your instructions. It, like you said, it needs to be tamed, and it needs to be tamed with a lot of focus, lot of care. I would say it needs that, and that's how it kind of builds a relationship. So I think mindfulness helps you to make that shift,
Absolutely.
and that shift then somewhere gives that stability to the mind, that presence that is required, and then that's where they can explore happiness.
It's, the issues which are around us, they create this disturbance of the mind. And in the difficult periods like now what we are having, all the more it becomes necessary for resolving these issues.
True.
I remember Einstein's famous quote. He says that you cannot solve a problem at the same level of thinking at which the problem was originally created. So you need to change the level of person's thinking level. And
Right.
this process that we have developed working together will certainly help people to change their state of mind to a different level, and then look back at the life, look back at the issues which are actually being created, look back at the sources of such problematic areas, and then how to fix them. And in that fixing, while the life balance sheet will create that base of making an awareness, and then the whole process of introspection and the mindfulness practices that you talk about will quickly help in reaching back to the base level. So
True,
this is what I
especially.
feel as the combination of the process of happiness and mindfulness will work as 1 + 1 = 11, not just 2.
I agree. I agree. I think we've got a program that covers beautiful. It basically marinates and marriages the whole concept so beautifully of contemplation, mindfulness, and happiness. Like I will be focusing a lot more on minding the mind and minding the emotions, especially during COVID times, and calming the overwhelmed and worrying mind. So that's something which is my focus and your focus. I love self-awareness. I love the use of positive psychology, and I love the idea of deep inner cleansing as well. So I love that integration.
So when we integrate the whole things, I'm sure that we will be able to create that same results that we have been creating in various processes. I recall that almost 10, 11 years ago, we had a massive training program for about 12,000 people of the Bangalore electricity company, supply company. And the result came out so beautiful. It only worked on the happiness parameter. We just created the happiness as a basis for them, and they worked on that, and that created a good health for them. Their good practices that they started adopting, practically overnight the complaints vanished.
Hmm.
Practically overnight their attitudes changed.
Hmm.
And for almost 2 years, I remember I used to follow it up with directly or indirectly. And hundreds of people, they say that this process of operating from happiness
Happiness.
background has done tremendously good thing, not only at the workplace, but even with the families. And even now, recently, we have been working with a multinational company here, and they are adopting this process of life balance sheet, as I call it, and then work on a weekly basis how to take it forward. And I am sure that if we want to change the culture of an organization, we need to combine these kind of processes of like life balance sheet with mindfulness practices. And I think we can do an amazing job.
Yes, I do agree. So let me just welcome Dilip now. Dilip is a happiness mindset coach and also someone who's created Life Balance Sheet. And he's also a TED speaker. He's spoken on a topic called Zentangle. And he is going to be focusing on mental wellness through happiness habits, practices. This is no theory, it's about just getting into action. So that's what he's going to do.
And Fatima is specializing in mindfulness practices for individual happiness, personal well-being, mental well-being, families well-being, the teachers. She has worked with so many schools, so many parents, so many teachers, principals, and now we are entering into this working with the corporate world.
Right. And I think both of us agree on the idea that it's not individual happiness and or mindfulness that we're trying to create, that presence we're trying to actually elevate the happiness levels in corporations, in families, and perhaps even society. So thank you so much. And if you have any more questions or you'd like to get in touch with us, you can always write to us on info@evolveed.in. The email ID is mentioned on the link below. And we really hope to collaborate with you and create happy spaces and
Just
teach your employees to find, not to be, they're already brave, but to connect with bravery, courage, happiness, and joy. It's just to get out of the mind and move a little to the heart. And that's where you'll find everything that you're looking for. So I really look forward, and we hope the best.
just
Thank
give
you.
us a call, just connect with us, and we'll let you know more about how to schedule this program and how do we reach the results. We're very sure that we'll be able to help you out in a phenomenal way. Thank you.
I'm sure. Thank you so much.